Hi, I know most of you guys probably know me, but for those who don't, I'm Sarah Morris, and I had a thought just kind of come to me. I've been doing a lot of different reading and just kind of looking at different things, and been really challenged by the idea of growing 1% a day. So I started that process about a year ago when I started reading a couple of books. Slight Edge is a great book. Atomic Habits is a great book. I read the book Failing Forward, and just all these thoughts, I've realized that they actually all kind of come together. So I just kind of wanted to talk today for a second about the different thoughts that come from these resources. And one is just like, how different would your life look if you took one habit a day and worked to grow it by 1%? See, making a ton of life choices or life changes can be very intimidating. But what if we really just look to do one thing 1% better every day? So any habit, like what if you took working out and you just did 1% more today than you did yesterday? So it might not seem like a lot in the moment, but as that compounds, where would you be in a year versus where you are if you did nothing different? You know, if you took healthy eating and you did 1% better today eating healthier than you did yesterday, how different would your life be in a year? Rather than just focusing on the here and now, think about what that would do as that habit compounded, because every day you would be doing 1% better than the day before. And so as I was thinking about that, it was just really intriguing to also think about what that would look like in a business or in a job. Like, what if you did 1% better today than you did yesterday? How much further along would you be in a year in your goals? Now, maybe you can stack and do several of these at the same time, but how far would you be in a year to meeting your goals if you did this? Would it be worth it to think ahead of where you would be if you practiced 1% better every day? Would it be worth the sacrifice you're making now in order to make that happen? It's not easy necessarily, but these are things to think about if you're actually wanting to grow. So how is growth worth that? I guess is one of my questions. Like, is it worth the time and the effort? So it's not easy, and you're going to fail, and you're going to mess up, and you're going to go, whoops, didn't do better today than I did yesterday at times. But that also just doesn't mean you give up. We are not perfect people. That was never the plan, was for people to be perfect. So I think sometimes we forget that when we set these goals and we think, oh, I have to do this every day, versus, oh, I didn't hit it today. Okay. So then you have a choice. You can either quit, throw in the towel and give up, or say, okay, tomorrow we get back on track. And I think that's one of the biggest things I'm learning about growth is it's a process. It's never like you're just done and ready and woohoo, we're perfect. It is a process, and it's a learning process, and it's so worth it. So one of the things I was really thinking about as I thought about this topic was, so one, you learn more from messing up and failing or struggling than you do succeeding. And that's really hard for those of us recovering perfectionists, or for, I see it even with my students, they struggle if they don't get it immediately. But there's so much value in the struggle. And so one of the ways that I internalize that, and I really have to pull back on it when I'm struggling with something, is remembering, like, I am a much better, like when it comes to teaching flute. So flute was my main instrument growing up. When it comes to teaching flute, I can teach flute very well. Why? Because I had a lot of struggles that shaped the way I shaped my playing ability. Like, I struggled through things that other students didn't necessarily have to, but that also means that I'm really able to teach it well, where some of my colleagues might struggle a little bit because it came so incredibly natural to them. I have certain things that I will think of to have students try and do because I had that struggle when I started playing my instrument. It also shaped the way like I did my entire band program, because when as a band director, I'm now an elementary music teacher, but when I was a band director, I never just told a kid, no, you can't play that instrument because of whatever. Like, this kid really didn't need to be playing this instrument for whatever reason. Instead, I believed it was my job to be upfront with the student. These are the challenges you might have playing this instrument. Are you willing to engage with these challenges? Are you willing to put in the extra time and effort? If they said, yes, this is what I want to play, then that is what we made happen. And I think that made a huge difference in the way that I approached teaching instruments, but also teaching other things, rather than just being like, nope. I believed in just being upfront with the challenges that the student was going to face. And I think sometimes we should just do that in life. Like, things are going to be tough, things are going to be hard, but don't just give up, focus in and keep going with those. And so one of the things that I guess the thing that I'm saying is my struggles made me way more aware as a teacher, and therefore I became stronger. So our struggles make us stronger. They make us more aware. They help us in the long run. So we shouldn't be shying away from them. We shouldn't be like scared to encounter them. We should be honoring the struggle, because through that struggle, we are going to learn way more than if things just come super naturally and like easy to us and we have quick success. And so it's through those struggles that we are better equipped and become better at our callings, our habits, reaching our goals, and helping others to do the same, because they might have the same struggle as you. And if you're not honoring the struggle and seeing the value in your struggle, or seeing the value in what makes it more difficult, or in that missing or failing, which we don't always like that word, and we need to remember that failing is just an opportunity to learn. It's just an opportunity to try something different. And I feel like that's so important for us. So I challenge you today to pick a few things to try to grow by 1% tomorrow. And then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And then see where you are at in a week, a month, a year. Because I can tell you, it is worth it to just strive to do a little better today than you did yesterday. Have a great day.